Good afternoon. Welcome to Batchelor Institute's 2016 graduation ceremony. I'm here with the Master of Ceremonies and Batchelor Institute's Executive Director, Naomi Bonson, and she's going to tell us a little bit about the significance of today. Naomi?
Thanks, Patrick. Yeah, today is the most important event for Batchelor Institute on our calendar every year. The Batchelor Ceremony at Batchelor Campus celebrates the achievements of Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander students from all over the country who come here to learn in further education and in higher education.
Naomi, can you talk a little bit about some of the things that are going to take place today and some of the graduands and awards?
Yes, so we have a very exciting, really culturally strong day today where we have our academic procession that is traditionally led by a group of dancers who come from somewhere. This year it'll be led by the Wonga dancers from Wadeye. We're very excited to have them, and they'll lead our procession up. We also have an academic parade where our council, who we celebrate our governance with, will come and sit on the stage, and our students who follow them behind, and then we'll proceed with all of the awards being handed out, and we'll see things from areas in business through to resource and infrastructure and construction and hospitality. We'll also be seeing areas like tourism coming on scope soon too, which is exciting, and we'll see a number of higher ed graduates who participate in the Australian Centre for Indigenous Knowledges Education through our partnership with Charles Darwin University.
Thanks, Naomi. Okay, we're going to cross live now to the traditional dancers from Wadeye and take part in this fantastic ceremony here at Batchelor Institute. I'd like to say thanks to all the graduates who could not make it today. You're too deadly, and we want to thank all the deadly graduates and everyone who made this day possible.
Welcome everybody to the 2016 Batchelor Institute of Tertiary Indigenous Education for the Batchelor campus. This year we have a record number of graduates and we're very excited about this special occasion. It's also the very first time we are bringing on a live streamed video satellite image across Australia, so I'm very nervous. Leading our procession in, our academic procession, we have the Wonga dancers from Wadeye. They've been gracious enough to come and dance our people in, our council and our graduates, so that we can have them have a formal traditional welcome by our elder, Kungarakan elder, Dr. Sue Stanton. Dr. Stanton is also the academic elder for Batchelor Institute, and she provides academic guidance, cultural guidance and leadership, and overall general leadership to us. It's a very exciting move that we've made to introduce that kind of role. This is Dr. Sue, and as we have the Wonga dancers bring our procession in, Dr. Sue will meet them at the end of the marquee. Batchelor Institute is really proud of the tradition and ceremony we have around our major event of the Batchelor campus graduation. We also have a graduation at the DPC campus, that's our Desert Peoples Centre in Alice Springs, where we also have a dinner under the stars. We really enjoy celebrating the achievements of Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander students from across the nation who graduate in areas from media, arts, health, education, construction, resources and infrastructure, horticulture and a whole range of other areas. Here we deliver pre-cert ones through to PhDs and enjoy a really solid partnership with Charles Darwin University through the Australian Centre for Indigenous Knowledges Education. As you watch the academic procession coming in, you'll see that it is led not just by the Wonga dancers but by our council. At the front of the council, our CEO, Robert Somerville, AM, and our Chair of Council, Professor Mark Rose. Behind them are the rest of the Council, Mr Peter McCaffrey, Dr Kevin Gillen, Professor Stephen Larkin, Ms Catherine Curry, Ms Kerry Ann Butler and Ms Stephanie Barber. You'll notice that Ms Barber will come onto the stage with Council and exit. Stephanie is also the manager of our Student Services Department and plays a very important role in this event, so she'll also be managing our graduate students. Batchelor Institute is very proud of our both ways philosophy, and we're very proud of the way that we embrace Aboriginal culture and leadership here in the Territory, and we advocate nationally for Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander perspectives in education and training. Our strategic plan has been developed to make sure that we're forward-thinking and innovative and able to meet the market demands. You might also notice we have a drone flying overhead, which is another first for Batchelor Institute. We're doing some filming of the procession live and overhead. Kumarakan Elder Dr. Sue Stanton will now greet the Wonga dancers and the academic procession. Please join me in thanking the Wonga dancers for leading us in the procession. And join me in welcoming our graduates in their yellow robes. As our graduates are taking their seat, I'd like to take the liberty to introduce again Dr. Sue Stanton to the stage. She'll be performing the Welcome to Country on behalf of Kumarakan people, the traditional owners of this land with Warai. Dr. Sue.
Kemek. Hello. I am Challengmara, Kungarakan Elder, and I greet you here today on behalf of all Kungarakan family. Kemek Nianga, Challengmara Kungarakan. My first duty today is to acknowledge all Kungarakan who have gone before us to join the ancestors. My other duty is to acknowledge all Kungarakan elders and others here with us today. I also acknowledge our Warai kin. As well, I acknowledge members of my Gurindji family in the audience. Kemek. I stand proud today as the eldest granddaughter of Jack McGuinness and the eldest great-granddaughter of Alan Dabu, Kungarakan matriarch, our Wechi. To all Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples here today, and I extend my respect and acknowledgement to your respective families and communities, and I thank you. A special welcome is extended to Wonga dancers today, Kemek. To our Maori, New Zealand visitors, Kungarakan people extend warm welcome to you today, Kia ora. I extend respect to you and your families and to all our Maori brothers and sisters as we celebrate today through the extension of our songlines, set down for Kungarakan from Mapulbark, the creation time to now, from the rivers and the springs in paperback bark country to Aotearoa, land of the long white cloud. The importance of songlines between all of the various language groups and the clans gathered here today cannot be dismissed or underrated, because it is the interconnectedness that keeps us strong. And for this reason, we celebrate and remember all of our dreaming pathways that traverse across land, sky, and sea, whispering through the trees and the grasses, carried on the winds, narrated through stories and shared histories, through mappings and navigations across the landscapes, expressed through various art forms and performance. To Chair Professor Mark Rose and members of Batchelor Council, I welcome you to this graduation ceremony at Batchelor Institute today. Welcome to beautiful Kungarakan and Warai country. Kemek. Professor Simon Maddox, Vice-Chancellor CDU, welcome to our beautiful country, Kemek. Professor Steve Larkin, Pro-Vice-Chancellor, Indigenous Leadership CDU, home again on Kungarakan land. So great to have you here with us today, Steve. Kemek. In this welcome today, I acknowledge and greet Batchelor Institute CEO, Mr. Bob Somerville, as well as all staff of the Institute, the people of Batchelor Township and surrounding region, locals, as well as all visitors, regardless of how far you have travelled to be here today. What a glorious day for us all to come together and to share and celebrate. And I ask that you take the time to reflect on the significance of this practice of welcome to country, an old and ancient tradition. Welcome to country is ancient practice, and not only as observance of significant protocol, not simply as an act of diplomacy, but this practice also ensures your safety and well-being. And it is a way of displaying the highest level of respect to your hosts, the custodians and or the traditional owners of the land on which you work or live or visit. As well, it demonstrates that a flexible and productive relationship is possible between different groups of people. Kungarakan expect that relationships forged and those that are ongoing will always be reciprocal, and respectful, and that there will be shared responsibilities between all parties and visitors to our country. That is Kungarakan Warai country. To all who work, visit, travel and or live in Kungarakan Warai country, be safe, be happy, and I ask that you be appreciative and respectful, remembering that you walk on Kungarakan and Warai land. You walk over the footprints of our ancestors. You follow the directions and paths of present-day Kungarakan, and in your shared responsibilities with us, you must help preserve those paths, those songlines, and the country for future Kungarakan and Warai who will traverse this land. I congratulate all the graduates here today and welcome those also into beautiful Kungarakan country. As my Uncle Speedy McGuinness constantly reminds us, as you walk and talk on Kungarakan country, keep in mind that the spirits are always watching and they are listening. And added to my wise uncle's words, I add some words from Carlos Barrios, the Mayan elder of the Eagle clan. And he says, the greatest wisdom is in simplicity. Love, respect, tolerance, sharing, gratitude, and forgiveness. It's not complex or elaborate. The real knowledge is free. It's encoded in your DNA. All you need is within you. Great teachers have said that from the beginning. Find your heart and you will find your way. Mamak for now. Have a wonderful day and go in peace. Jalangmara. Mamak.
Thank you very much, Dr. Sue. As always, the importance of acknowledging country and traditional owners, those who've walked before us, those who walk with us and those who will walk after us on this great land is very, very important to all of us here at Batchelor Institute, and that's why we really value those sorts of beautiful ceremonies as we had with the Wonga dancers and Dr. Sue. So again, welcome to the Batchelor Institute Batchelor Campus Graduation Ceremony for 2016. I'll be your Master of Ceremonies today, and my name is Naomi Bonson and I'm the Executive Director of Strategic and Shared Services here. Today I'd like to quickly acknowledge some of our VIPs. We have with us the Honourable Warren Snowden, Shadow Parliamentary Secretary for Indigenous Affairs, the Honourable Nova Peris, Senator for the Northern Territory, Mr Ken Vowles, Member for Johnson, Council, distinguished guests from New Zealand, kia ora, Professor Simon Maddox from Charles Darwin University, our sponsors from the Koori Mail, NBC Consultants and Tiba Radio, representatives from the public and private sectors, staff and students of the Institute, graduates and their families and friends. As you know, this year is a first and we're live streaming the event via YouTube and on ICTV. I hope they're getting my best angle. I'd like to acknowledge before we begin the media students that you will see in the orange and black Batchelor Institute t-shirts. They are our students, they're our people, been taught by our lecturers here, and they're filming this live and this will go as part of their portfolio. So if we could give them a quick acknowledgement and they could give us a wave. We'll have a number of those actually receiving their testaments today as well. Before we begin any further with any of speeches or the pomp and ceremony, we always like to have a minute's silence for those students who've passed away. So if you could join me in that, please. Thank you. Now, to address the graduates, I'd like to introduce our Chief Executive Officer, Mr. Robert Somerville AM.
Thanks so much, Naomi. Thank you, Dr. Sue Stanton, for that wonderful welcome to country. I too would like to pay my respects to the Kanarrikan and Warai peoples, who are the custodians of this land and their elders, both past and present. I especially thank Kanarrikan elders and traditional owners Mr. Speedy McGuinness and Mrs. Kathy Mills for joining us today. Thank you. I would also like to recognise the contribution of the many other Aboriginal families who have resided and lived in this wonderful region and who, like the Institute, call Batchelor home. Could you also please put your hands together for the Litigary dancers from Warai who danced the academic procession up today? They were just fantastic. Thanks so much. And like Naomi, I'd also like to recognise our media students who've elected to be involved in the live stream production today. So thanks very much to our media students. Professor Mark Rose, Chair of the Batchelor Council, Professor Simon Maddox, Vice-Chancellor of Charles Darwin University, the Honourable Warren Snowden MP, Senator the Honourable Nova Peris OAM, Mr Ken Vales, Professor Steve Larkin, Director of ASICI and Pro-Vice-Chancellor of Indigenous Learning for a little while longer at Charles Darwin University. If you wonder why I said that, Steve has been moved to Pro-Vice-Chancellor of another university in Newcastle, so congratulations to Steve. Yes, we'll give it back. Members of the Batchelor Council, representatives from the Mara University Colleges, who are Dr Marina Selby, Dr Hoya Collier, ONZM, Mrs Evie O'Brien and Dr Nathan Matthew, Miss Wendy Masters for the Department of Business, Mrs Naomi Moran for the General Manager of Koori Mail, thanks for coming and joining us. Mr Arthur Pulford, who's a benefactor of the Institute, special guests, Batchelor staff, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and especially our graduates for 2016. Welcome to Batchelor Campus on this very special occasion to celebrate the successes achieved by our graduates. And thank you all for being here. Your support is very much appreciated. As Naomi said, my name's Robert Somerville. I'm a Māori man from Jigalong in Western Australia, and I've the privilege of being the Chief Executive Officer of Batchelor Institute for Indigenous Tertiary Education. We are here today to celebrate the success of the graduating class of 2016. Completing a qualification is certainly never an easy task, especially when you're juggling commitments such as family, employment, and the demands of everyday life. So your achievement today is to be celebrated, and this is the reason why we are here. Today is your day, so it's really important that you take the time to enjoy the experience and really soak up the atmosphere. I trust that you realise that you now join a very large family of Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people from around Australia who have achieved success at Batchelor Institute. Every one of you should be justly proud of your achievements. I know for some of you, you're the first in your family to receive an academic award, making your achievement even more significant. You will become an example to your family, and your family will say to others in your family that they can also achieve a nationally recognised academic qualification. Your achievement today not only reflects your hard work, but also the support that I'm sure you've been provided by family, friends, but especially the teaching and lecturing staff of Batchelor. So don't forget to thank them. All of these people now expect you to use your qualifications to make a real difference, not only in your own lives, but in the lives of others. I'm very proud of the staff of Batchelor Institute. Their professionalism, in my opinion, is first class. That's due to their commitment and talent, and this is reflected today in the students who are graduating. Today's graduation represents the largest cohort of graduating students from Batchelor for more than 10 years. There were some 700 qualification completions in 2015, and 2016 should see this rise to more than 800. So we must be getting it right. Batchelor actually has nearly 20 graduation ceremonies, both in on country, at Batchelor, at the DPC, and in different communities. And this is the reason why our graduates have a choice of where they graduate from. I would particularly like to thank all of my staff for their hard work and dedication. Certainly without them, today's celebration would not be possible. For those of you who are new to Batchelor, let me just paint a very quick picture of who we are as an organisation, because Batchelor Institute is unique on the Australian tertiary education landscape. We are the only publicly funded Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander institution that's accredited to offer VET and higher education qualifications, ranging from PhDs to foundation skills. 90% of our students reside in remote and very remote Australia, with most speaking an Aboriginal language as their first language. We operate as a totally independent government authority responsible to the Minister for Education and overseen by an appointed council. We comprise of 15 campuses located across the Northern Territory. This enables Batchelor to deliver education and training on country in some of the most remote locations in Australia. Our both ways teaching and learning philosophy allows us to place an Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander lens to a Western academic context, and therefore tailor it better to suit Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander learners. And we have a unique partnership with Charles Darwin University called the Australian Centre for Indigenous Knowledges Education, where a range of undergraduate qualifications are offered under the Charles Darwin University umbrella. I trust this provides you with the context of the Institute, but today is about our graduates who are about to become graduates. Graduates, will you all please stand? Mr. Chair, I would like to present to you the Batchelor Institute 2016 graduates. As the Chief Executive Officer, I can confirm that each of these graduates has achieved the requirements to be issued a recognised Australian qualification and therefore graduate from Batchelor Institute. I can also confirm the graduates with us today who have completed their study as a part of the Batchelor Charles Darwin University partnership at the Australian Centre for Indigenous Knowledges Education have had their respective awards conferred by the Charles Darwin University Council. We also have with us today students who have completed the Preparation for Tertiary Success course. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the 2016 graduates. Congratulations. Graduates, could you please be seated? To our graduates, I know that the qualification that you are about to receive will make a difference, and I trust that it assists you achieve your own personal aspirations. Most importantly, that it enables you to make a difference to our people, Aboriginal people and Torres Strait Islanders, whether it be as a professional, as a tradesperson, as a leader, or as a role model. Today is your day. Enjoy it and be proud of your achievement, because all of us are really proud of you. Remember that your learning journey doesn't end today, and that Batchelor Institute looks forward to supporting you into the future. Thank you.
Thank you, Bob. So now I have the pleasure of introducing our chair, Professor Markham Rose, to deliver the occasional speech. Mr. Rose is a little bit cheeky, a lot of clever, and also a lot of fun, but he is highly dedicated to the education and training of Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people and the advancement of all of us to economic participation that is equitable. We're very proud to have him as our chair and to guide us into change and growth and future prosperity. Thank you, Mark.
Thanks, Naomi. I'd also like to acknowledge the land that we gather on today, Sue, and your community here, and bring with me my compliments from my people, my elders, my ancestors, to your people. And it is nothing greater than the honour to speak on other people's country. And you know that we come with respect, and we do that with the integrity and of my people. So thank you very much. There is no better day than graduation day at Batchelor. To look out and see this sea of yellow cloaks, and to see that you've put on the outward cloak of the Western Academy, but to see our brothers over there and sisters over there painted up. This is what Batchelor is great, where the two knowledges come together and join. Sue, in your welcome to country, which was exceptional, thank you, you mentioned Speedy's comment about the elders are always here. And by golly, wouldn't the elders and the ancestors be really happy today to see this Indigenous youth, Aboriginal Torres Strait Islander youth, stand up and hear their call and follow their dream of education. I wonder whether the ancestors, though, Speedy, what they'd make of that drone in the air flying around and filming it, and all this technology, as we all are. I'd like to acknowledge some really important guests in the audience. Simon from Charles Darwin University. It's great to have you here, and we really value the relationship that we have between two great Northern Territory institutions and places of study. Warren Snowden, it's always good to see you. I missed you at Dreamtime at the G last week. Often see you down there. And it's a bit disappointing the way the Cats are playing at the moment. I don't know if there's a traditional version of picking up our handbags, but we need to put our handbags down and play real football. But you're always reliable and a constant support by coming here. Nova, it's great to see you, and in honour of the tremendous work you have done for your people and the work you're going to do in the future for our people. Thank you for coming. To our New Zealand colleagues, kia ora. I said New Zealand, Aotearoa. That was very incorrect of me to say New Zealand. We are colleagues from many venues, and it's great when we meet around the world to discuss Indigenous education and Indigenous knowledge. And one of the things, we talked about things that we joined about and things that separate us. And one of the things that separate us is the fact that over there in Aotearoa, the first Indigenous PhD was graduated in the late 1800s. 1800s. And here, across the ditch, the first Aboriginal PhD was 100 years later. It is amazing what difference a treaty makes. So I just say thank you for bringing your skills and your knowledge and sharing them with us. So one of the things we do share, and which I value greatly, is the Coolangatta Statement. And all Indigenous people around the world have seen that as the base statement on Indigenous education. But there's something about the Coolangatta Statement I want to say. Before the Coolangatta Statement was written, Batchelor was. And Batchelor has always been the leading voice and position in Indigenous knowledge and Indigenous education. As a very, very young man with hair of one colour and great aspirations, I heard the stories of the people that crafted Batchelor, and that is why it is such an honour a number of years later to come here and to chair the council. Not as a person from down there who knows everything, but to come here and walk and talk with you on your land and elevate the voice and see what we have done in 3 years. The staff here have done a tremendous job. And if you walk around this place, for you who study here or work here regularly, the speed of change probably won't be as apparent to you than it is to us, the council, when we come here every 3 months. We cannot believe what this place has become. We walk around and we see the grounds. This looked like I'll be honest, 3 years ago, this looked like a refugee high school from the 70s. And now you can see it as a cutting edge education institution. We have cleared all our relationships with the auspicing bodies, TESCA and ASCA, And we are now delivering overseas, and in 2 weeks there'll be a graduation ceremony in Timor. And we've got colleagues coming from New Zealand to see us. This is the dimension of change that is happening. I want to acknowledge Bob's leadership in that, and I want to acknowledge the staff who choose to follow him in such a dynamic way that has brought about tremendous change. When we walked around to get coffee this morning, and we do not start a meeting without coffee, I come from the coffee capital of this country, Kevin Gillan talked about pride, that, the place looking this good instills pride. You students, graduates who become graduates in a couple of moments, the pride in you, the pride that you have in yourself, the pride that your family has in you, and the pride that the community have in you. The fact that you have stood up and you've taken on a challenge. That's not always easy, but you have come through. And your ancestors would be smiling big time about that. And the pride of the ancestors. What would they be thinking? And the people who started Batchelor, what would they be thinking if they saw Batchelor today? Still grounded in those core dimensions of the probity and the veracity of Indigenous knowledge, still grounded in ways that engage to knowledge in respect, but in a sophisticated way, and seeing young people, our numbers grow, our reach grow, and our expansion overseas. There is much that we can all be proud of today. So, as I start off by saying, this is the greatest day in the academic year, when all your work and all our work and all the strategic work of Council have come together, and we honour you as Batchelor graduates. Batchelor started as a flicker. It was an idea in a time that grew, and that flicker has sometimes been large, and sometimes it has almost been snuffed out. But the ancestors have watched over us. And Batchelor is a beacon to the rest of the country on this country's richest asset, the traditional knowledge, and our link to the oldest culture, and therefore the oldest intellectual tradition of mankind. And Batchelor is the leading light, the beacon to the rest of the country and the rest of the world. Thank you, and enjoy graduation.
Thank you very much, Mark. And now's the time for us that matters, and that's the presentation of the academic awards. We'll be starting with further education, where we will hand out awards for a Cert 1 through to a Cert 4. Some students will be receiving several different awards because they will graduate with several different qualifications. They'll be called up on their highest award, and we'll also announce the awards that come with those. To present these, I invite Professor Rose to shake hands with the students, please, and to assist him and present to Council the conferral of the awards in further education, our Deputy CEO, Ms Dorothy Morrison.
Thank you. Chair of Council, I present to you the candidates for admission to the name of several awards. The candidates for admission to the Certificate 1 in Business, Sheila Farrell. Gary Wanenya Marika. Williams. I present to you the candidate for the Certificate 1 in Conservation and Land Management, Nigel Moore. I present to you the candidate for the Certificate 1 in Visual Arts, Margaret Agnew. I present to you the candidate for the Certificate 1 in Work Preparation, Community Services, Mariah Chick. I present to you the Certificate 2 candidates for Certificate 2 in Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander Primary Healthcare, Charmaine Gruel, and Paul Edward Portamini. I present to you candidates for admission to the Certificate 2 in Community Services, Jessica Motlop, and Chloe Quayle. I present to you candidate for admission to the Certificate 2 in Conservation and Land Management, Stephen Dawson. I present to you candidates for admission to the Certificate 2 in Construction, Martin Leonard Blytheway. Roland John Anthony Mould. Bianca Waghorn. I present to you a candidate for admission to the Certificate 2 in Horticulture, who will also receive the Certificate 1 in Skills to Vocational Pathways, Susan Chapman. candidate for admission to the Certificate 2 in Resources and Infrastructure Work Preparation, Angelique Stanton. I present to you candidates for admission to the Certificate 3 in Business. Bronwyn Uli Dingo. And Julie Ann Muirhead. I present to you a candidate for admission to the Certificate 3 in Children's Services, Lolita Hume. I present to you candidates for admission to the Certificate 3 in Community Services Work, Pauline Babin, Jenny Campbell, Vivienne Entata, Ward Alexander Hastings, Marissa Heenan, Francina Karanua, Jodie Miller, Vivienne Muniyawan, Vanina Ngolfundi, Louise Candela, you. Nolene Ratara. Melinda Thompson. And Marie Frances Tipalura. Sunny Victor. Betty Wallapeni. Beverly Waters. Anastasia Wilson. Hannah Wuramarba. I present to you a candidate for admission to the Certificate 3 in Education Support, Janelle Guriaku. I present to you the candidates for admission to the Certificate 3 in Media, Annabelle Cox, Carly Isles, Rebecca Holness. Bruce King. Daniel Wilson. Joseph Keith Witchard. And Lachlan Buchanan Witchard. Our media students who are assisting here today. Thank you. I present to you the candidates for admission to the Certificate 4 in Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander Primary Healthcare. Sharon Jeffrey. I present to you candidates for admission to the Certificate 4 in Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander Primary Healthcare Practice. Carly Rose Arfat. Margaret Byrne. Glenda Trendle. I present to you a candidate for admission to the Certificate 4 in Business Governance, Rachel Baker. I present to you candidates for admission to the Certificate 4 in Screen and Media. Heath Baxter. And Talia Murdoch. I present to you a candidate for admission to the Certificate 4 in Training and Assessment, Elizabeth Chick. I present to you a candidate for admission to the Diploma of Screen and Media, but I believe he is assisting. He also receives the Certificate 4 in Training and Assessment, and that's Patrick McKenzie. Concludes the certificates for the further education.
Hey, the pizza, yes.
Yeah, would you like me to introduce it?
That's all right. Okay. Chair, on behalf of the Australian Centre for Indigenous Knowledges and Education, I present to you to receive the statement of completion for the preparation for tertiary success, Michaela Friday Shaw, Justin Troy Bodie, I don't think that's here. Okay, well, I'll move to the award, Bachelor of Indigenous Languages and Linguistics, Mavis Barney. And for the award for the Bachelor of Teaching and Learning Early Childhood, Althea Leon McCowan. And Josie Wickham. That concludes the presentation of graduates from the Australian Centre for Indigenous Knowledges and Education.
Thank you, Professor Larkin, and thank you, Doc, and thank you to our chair. You may have a seat for a little while, not for very long, but a little while at least. Now we move on to our special award categories, where we have 3 special awards for our students that are sponsored by particular persons or companies. Oh, apologies, Mark. But to present the NBC Consultants Award, I'll call upon Professor Mark Rose, Batchelor Institute Council Chairperson, to present an award that recognises the most outstanding student who has completed a certificate in business. For 2016, this year's recipient is Miss Rachel Baker. Thank you, Mark, and congratulations, Rachel. The next award we're presenting is the Koori Mail Award. I'd like to call upon Ms Naomi Moran, General Manager of the Koori Mail, to present this award. The Koori Mail, as many of you know, is a national newspaper published in Lismore, New South Wales, which reports from an Indigenous perspective on people, issues and events that affect Indigenous Australians. This award is in recognition of outstanding achievements by a student or students enrolled in broadcasting or media studies, and encourages further study in the area of media. This year, in 2016, the recipient of this award is one of our media students, obviously, Mr Patrick McKenzie. Good name, Naomi. I like that one. Thank you very much for that, Koori Mail, and congratulations, Patrick. We also have a last award, which is the Harry Wilson Memorial Scholarship, and to present this award today on behalf of TIBA is Jason Tambling. Could Jason Tambling please come to the stage to present this award? TIBA is the top-end Aboriginal Bush Broadcasting Association and presents this award in recognition of another outstanding student in a media course. Due to the fact that he is very, very, very outstanding, the 2016 candidate is again Patrick McKenzie. is also largely coordinating the live broadcast, so he is very, very talented. Thank you very much, Patrick. And before we close officially, we always end with a traditional graduate response. This year the response will be delivered by Ms Rachel Baker, who earned her Cert 4 in Business Governance. Rachel?
Hello everyone. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to share my learning experience with you all and where it has taken me. Firstly, I would like to thank my lecturers, Imelda Davis, Mike Tapper and George Seck. I couldn't have done it without their teaching, guidance and support. For starters, last night I have got back from getting 6 planes and seeing 11 rainbows on my way back from Brazil in Rio, and actually caught the bus this morning to Batchelor. So don't ask me how many hours I've travelled. In Rio I ran the 42-kilometre marathon and finished strong. Batchelor for me is what I call home. It has given me the tool to use in life in so many different ways. Since I completed my certificates, I have started my own clothing business, which includes its own perfume labels. It is a wholesale business to many outlets throughout the Territory. It has made significant sales and soon to launch an online store in August. This business is working towards selling products across Australia and potentially around the globe in a near future. Batchelor for me is more what I call suited to me. It is a two-way learning, and that is what made it successful for my learning experience here. It is a culturally respected study environment which made my learning to succeed. I would strongly encourage future young Indigenous school leavers or even students, new students, to take this opportunity that this institute has to offer. Since being in the Indigenous Marathon project and whilst doing my studies through Batchelor, it has opened my eyes and given me the confidence to get out there, get out of my comfort zone and learn new things at a global level. Through my learning experience that Batchelor taught me, I have put into practice recently and will be holding an elders gathering for Arnhem region looking at restricting drug and alcohol coming into Arnhem Land, a project called New Beginnings. Certificate 4 in Business Governance is one of my favourite courses here in Batchelor. It has given me a tool that I've learnt and using for my community back in Galilee or Elko Island. I personally would like to see other young Indigenous people getting out there to try their best and to get out of their comfort zone and follow their dreams. Thank you, Batchelor, for making my dreams become a reality.
Thank you, Rachel. Your words ring true, I'm sure, for a number of students, and we're very, very proud of you here at Batchelor, as we're proud of every one of our students who graduate. And just as a reminder for people, not everybody attends the Batchelor campus graduation. Many of our students will graduate on country in their community or at the DPC in Central Australia. That's the Desert Peoples Centre. So before we close, there are a few people to thank around here. We've already acknowledged the media people. I'd like to also acknowledge the PMR team, which is Performance Monitoring and Reporting, for assisting with getting the students ready. I'd like to acknowledge Stephanie Barber over here, Steph, who's part of council, staff member of council, and her student services team. I'd like to acknowledge Ken Cunningham down the back for manning the first aid station, Peter Hillier and the facilities crew for assisting with the setup, Andrew Milner and his grounds and maintenance team for how wonderful this looks around here, and Kevin Arthur and the media marketing team for what they've done to set this all up, and again the media students for making sure this goes to live broadcast. I'd also really like to thank our lecturers and trainers, who come to work every day, work really, really hard for the young people and old people and medium people who come to their classes. They work really hard to make sure that you can access an education that you're entitled to, that you can grow and become the best, strongest Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people you can be, so that your children and their children's children will have the brightest possible futures, and that we can contribute to Australia in that way that is equitable. So I'm really, really appreciative of our lecturers and staff, as I'm sure Bob and council are, and we're really, really proud to call this place home for us in terms of our employment. It's also a place for us in our heart, no doubt, because those of us who work here have to have a little special something, don't we, Dr. Sue? She would know. So before we go, just a few little things. There will be meals provided at the back here shortly. So there'll be kitchen staff available to help with that. And I should thank them as well, who've prepared some lovely little picnic boxes for you. So please stay around and have a little picnic with yourselves and family or friends to celebrate your achievements. And we'll get Dr. Sue to lead the Wonga dancers and the procession out. And one final congratulation to our graduates. After the procession, we'll have a graduation cake up here, and we'll ask Rachel Baker to cut it for us if you'd like to stick around for a piece.
Now, are we on? Okay, thank you very much for tuning in for our live broadcast on ICTV and on our Batchelor live stream. I'd like to say a big congratulations to all the graduates this year of the 2016 Batchelor Institute graduation ceremony. Thank you for joining us live on your TV screens, on your tellies, on your computer screens. Thank you to all the organisers, all the lecturers, the staff, the admin, everyone who made this day possible, all the crew. Big thank you, and once again, thanks to ICTV. Have a great day, everybody. You're deadly. Make sure you tune on to batchelor.edu.au and have a deadly time. Thanks. See you later.